next. That's what we're going for in game 1.
They're actually doing it. We've heard the tales, but they're actually... Nemesis on Swain as well. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you look into those champions and all you see is like their close range. Swain is a happy individual.
He's a very happy individual here. They all want to be engaging into it except for Jhin. But like, you will have everybody else to deal with Jhin if you want to. You just want to have all of them coming at you and give them some very friendly Raven hugs, because you are going to be having them in control, especially if relay happens as early as possible. That's going to be...
It's a bit of an awkward draft, but I think it's a playable one for Venomcrest. And this has seriously diminished BAUS' champion pool now. And hell, LR have picked a flex for BAUS, and the fact they've got the Vi and the Volibear too, so they've not helped themselves either.
No, they've not. I mean, you know, in total here, we're looking at 6 champions out of BAUS' champion pool from game 1. Which, I mean, hell, what does that leave? Cho'Gath? Quinn? You know,
Poppy, maybe?
Poppy,
I suppose, is an option.
yeah, like, it's not a deep pool, to say the least anymore. So we'll see how this game, you know, unfolds.
Visible or anything. I think this is going to be a very scary dive indeed. Nita will be the one who is tasked with tanking this, you have to imagine. Level 2's elsewhere. Brownie immediately flash. There's the Shield of Duran. Double taunt. First blood does go the way of the Kai'Sa. Wendell does end up getting traded as well. This has got a bit messy now for Venomcrest. Can they get reckless? Well, I don't think so. With the heat up of the tower, we'll get one back, but somehow...
into the top side and match BAUS, which I think is probably for the better, just stat-wise and also matchup-wise. But hello!
Oh, nice.
Gank to the bot lane. It's fantastic.
Gorgeous. Yeah, they get the taunt again. Wendell landing those shielded rounds, gets the Kai'Sa down. Short, she did pick up 2 kills in that dive, and that's great news, but dropping another wave here, continue to be denied experience to be enough to carry a game as yet, but if they can pick up things like the early dragon here, as we are, as you may know, on the new improved Ionian Rift, slight change in scenery here, so differences in terms of the number of grubs and stuff spawning, and our objective time is slightly. But LR, despite the weirdness, not completely falling apart or anything here.
Yeah.
Against this Sion, just doing exceptionally well, quietly up, nearly 30 CS. LR though, flashing over the wall with this Volibear, looking to trade out in the river. I think this is going to be an absolute catastrophe for Venomcrest. The anti-venom well and truly in, all the while of course, BAUS is there as well. They pick up another set of kills.
That's the thing with BAUS, his brain doesn't work like the rest of us. He's going to do things that you're not going to expect. Now Crownie is in.
Killer instinct forwards. Wendell knocked up though with the grand entrance. Does get a decent knock away though. Does Gooby helps defend things. The curtains get called. That's Velia jumping out of the way, but it's leaving Reckless and Crownie in a difficult spot. Doxy's TP'd in. Stun onto that Volibear. And he might be pierced with a few thousand swords in that skin. Wants a giant stone statue fist to the face afterwards as well. It's the Scion that picks up the kill. Grubs have just spawned. There are only 3 now on the current patch. And Venomcrest will be claiming them, courtesy of that kill on the jungler.
Yeah, they have been buffed though. And change the numbers around, so getting 3 is still a very big deal. Whilst you don't see the double mites anymore, off the top of my head, you see teams with 3 grubs on this patch. As another play on the top side, Kubi's flash under the tower as well.
Maiko, Crownie dies, gets picked up by Kobe. Former LEC AD carries fighting off against each other. BAUS TPing in, Vault Breakers misses it. Wendell will go Justice punching forwards, does get traded. Gooby now in a 1v3 though, will likely fall. We'll get at least a decent belly slam forwards. Keeping an eye quietly on Nemesis as well, who is doing what Nemesis tends to do, which is farm incredibly efficiently. Still leading against that Sion very happily. Crownie gets shoved to the wall, double body slam will cleanse back on out, but in comes that Sion, a little bit too little to save the jungler as a team comes flying on forwards. Gonna curl the curtains, or call the curtains. I flip my vowels around. Regardless, Volibear gets a double, and Venomcrest overplay in the river. Lost Ratones way faster to respond.
Yeah, that they are. They pick up 2 more kills for themselves, and this is the small issue with this Venomcrest composition. It's issue is not necessarily the correct word, but something they're going to have to deal with. As we might hold this thought as BAUS.
Was being charged. I got wondered there. Hang on. Overcomes Gooby. BAUS now in danger. The blast going out. It's going to get them from just having a Mountain Soul shield. It's fine. Well, the dive under the turret, though, maybe less fine. Does get out of the shield of Duran. We'll see some desist to buy some time. Gooby now in danger. The Eclipse shield and the blast shield combined is good. Overcomes Reckless, and they all go down with the quickness. In comes a hero's entrance, but it might have to be a very swift exit as well. Wendell flashing away, gonna get a bit of speed as the Vault Breaker lands. There's the taunt, but BAUS has such a huge shield at this point between the Eclipse and that E passive. Will now back away. Kobe in the mid lane, rather, might be being Kobe'd as he will need to run towards somewhere that is not being dunked by Vel yet. Welcome to basketball, my friend. Remove the B and ends up turning into a basketball.
Yeah, not ideal for Venomcrest to say the least, and it's just really well played by BAUS on the dive. Another replay if we are allowed to get one, given the state of what's going on our screens right now.
No, absolutely not. Look at the violence commencing, Doxy. Might just be able to clear the way.
Oh!
It goes too deep. It's a storm surge. I don't even know where to begin, Adrian.
Yeah, I'm here for the craziness, man. I mean, at the end of the day, Los Ratones still feel pretty okay with the overall gold swing here. Ruby did smite this, but he is 2 levels down.
Yeah, he started with a hollow radiant, so has no discernible resists into a Vi with all of that raw AD damage, and it's having a really unfun
That
time.
could be what his second item ends up being. Reckless could engage here potentially.
BAUS went looking, won't find the season until just now, but Gooby then gets absolutely annihilated. As does Wendell. Not that tanky as a support on the Gallia. The statue looks a mite bit smaller than he does in the mid lane.
Yeah, that he does. Always the thing. You get Galio outside of those solo lanes. Nowhere near as tanky. As the gold lead continues to extend itself. And whilst in the early stages of this game, Gooby honestly was not only kind of getting the better of Velia just because of the game plan, but also an overall level, right? You think about that bot side play. Gooby was able to show up with the cask available whilst Velia was still level 5. Velia has just been farming up an absolute storm since then, and he is now 2 real levels above
That's insane.
Gooby, which I can't recall how many times you even see that in the jungle this early on as Boxy. Gonna force Nemesis' ult.
2-level advantage for Nemesis as well, though. There's a hero's entrance coming on in, but that's not going to hit onto Nemesis yet. We'll step on forwards looking for the shield of Durant. Does, but overcome Crowdy, who's done a decent job of counter-striking that for a second as Doxy, but it's still not enough. The cast comes down, and it's just a triple to the Swain. Ravens for breakfast.
Goodness me. I mean, we kind of panned away for a moment, but it was a clean disengage for us to his ult. Crowley's able to get involved, and I think Crowley got 1 kill credit there. It was actually Nemesis getting a double, unfortunately not that triple. But either way, like, you don't care. You're getting the gold.
It made for the better call, you know?
It made for the better call. Exactly. But now this is turning into a, I'm going to say, untenable situation for Venomcrest, but one that's going to start feeling like it real soon because of the gold difference at the top of your screen.
8,000! Near enough at this point. Gooby's in danger. Oh, come Nemesis! He's got a demonic ascension! And he'll drag them straight down to hell. Wendell is going to die as well as Nita, who turns into a zombie, but I don't think a brief second life will turn around the damage that's coming on over. That is Nemesis suddenly with a 10-stack Dark Seal. He's already got 2 items. That gold lead is obscenely large now.
Okay. Remember that part 30 seconds ago where I said the game was quite untenable? So,
yeah, I do.
Every now and again, you know, kids sit down on the sofa. Father's about to teach you a life lesson. People can lie to you at any given moment in time, and it's just something that people can do for free. And this is unfortunately one of those circumstances. Crowdy has no sums but an ult. Maybe he can kite out, but he's got the rest of his team with him.
Oh, no. Well, Jamada is spreading misinformation on the internet, and Los Ratones are spreading misery to wherever Venomcrest may hold court. BAUS steps on forwards, does not get hit by the counter-strike. It's the wrong video game. Should be playing League of Legends. Headshots mean nothing here. And they back away.
For this game. And, you know, presumably for this series, as Doxy's on an angle.
Can they blow up the Rakan before he gets to flash on out? No,
he's out.
They cannot. He gets to run away. F1 driver Reckless changing into a very different code of competition. Finds his way out. Doxy now splitting away. And I think BAUS might just be doxing him with the power of death. Black Cleaver now completed for the Vi. 6-1.
What does happen for the rest of the series, draft-wise, is now gonna, you know, be the next biggest question. Venomcrest's approach to this game wasn't bad at all. The execution just fell a little bit short, and in some of those key moments, unfortunately, Yeah, individuals, Gooby's dead. BAUS is probably gonna die. Maybe.
No, he's not. He doesn't even have any. Does he have mana for Q? I'm not sure he does, but he just gets to.
That wall's a bit weird. You
It is a bit.
Yeah. I think he tried to do reckless? No.
No, it's the same deal again. Celestial opposition tankiness. It's going to give Crownie an opportunity to kill her instinct out the back of the wall, and when it Cathian reigns, it pours. Velia is godlike, and they will continue to prove that opposition is futile right now. Los Ratones got one final member to claim under the tier 2. They are definitely thinking of going for it. Velia will begin to put down the thundering Smam, looks to bring in the Stormbringer, and will bring down the ace for themselves. 22 stacks on the Medjai's for Nemesis. Base broken wide open. It's not even 23 minutes on the clock, and they will be shattering the base. They might even look to just end it, depending on how confident they're feeling.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 5 members here. Wendell's the only one up. Gooby can maybe do a little bit of work to clear the wave, but no.
Oh my
He's
god.
gone.
The little bit of work was about a second before he got exploded. And everyone else is being exploded too. They get a route onto Crownie, but he's being shielded by the rest of the squad. Nexus turret number 1 falls, and Venomcrest try for the clever draft, the tricky draft, the one that steals BAUS's champions away. They go for the early dive, the prep is there, and the execution, well, it was a guillotine in the hands of Los Ratones. They play with their food at the end of the day. But despite the weirdness in the draft, despite the plans, they mean nothing in the face of Los Ratones' golden hands. They claim gold, game 1. Gold 1, I think they're slightly better than that one, I suspect. All up in challenge.
Okay, how come she wasn't banned all this time? I completely missed that Gwen wasn't banned all this time. We waited for so long to actually see her being picked, but okay. Now I have a little bit more faith in Venomcrest.
There are a few champions that BAUS doesn't like to play against. One of them is Rumble, the other one is Gwen. There's true damage and he likes to be on the face of the enemy. So it's also on NLC the first time we get to see the Renekton for BAUS, I believe. But on scrims he has been spamming this. Let's see how he's able to land. As soon as we get this, we got the draft. I would like to get your opinion on who is going to take this one if the name tags are off.
To be honest, it's just not OP anymore, right? We'll see how well Dox is able to navigate this lane. My expectation would be that Renekton is still able to kind of, bully his way through a lane like this in the early stages. And then, after an item and a half, 2 items, that's really when the Gwen starts to come online. Otherwise, I think these 2 compositions, very versatile, can kind of do a lot of the same thing if they'd like, all very different things. For Venomcrest, they've got 2 very strong side laners, but also 2 solo laners that are very competent and so dead. And then Q out, yeah, fantastic.
Wind becomes lightning, audacious charge, 3 talent strike knockup, red buff, remember still on Velia, gets the Conqueror stack, but Nemesis now coming on over. Gooby is now very much on the wrong side of the map. Over comes Wendell, but so is Reckless here. Flash Hammer, pulverize, and the cow brings one down. Poor Rider eating the wrong end of the animal farm trade. Pigs are always a little more equal than the others as Wendell caught out, and the Iron Horse Lady also falls. That one is picked up by Kraus. It works.
A little bit of a spanner in the works for Venomcrest so far these opening couple of minutes, and the end result after everything's shaken down is Dragon is going to be picked up first. Noxy is going to give up this wave.
He wants to fight. Gonna throw out some needles. BAUS will trade out with a Dominus. See how this one goes. Remember, BAUS doesn't have the flash, whereas Doxy does. Got the Q stack available, so can start to snip down real hard. Over comes Gooby as well. They want to trade this one up, but BAUS will begin to slice and potentially dice out to safety. But there is an Arctic Assault over the wall, and Gooby gets that one. But that is the wave still dries that way.
They have more or less boiled down the grubs to as you say, kind of 1 to 2 here as top play.
Good combo. Permafrost. I think he is just going to die. Gets the wave at least, but Doxy gets that kill, and nice return gank.
Yeah, not bad. And again, you really want to try and accelerate this Gwen. Whilst this isn't the, I mean, to be frank, just steroided up Gwen of the previous patch, still going to scale like a monster on this side lane. If they can get Doxy really far ahead, it then takes Nemesis to really have to answer out on that side lane, and then even then, the lane assignments come through, then you match the One into the Azir when you can make that work, and life feels really good. See how that side lane matchup continues to develop, as Los Ronas has been eyeing up this dive for a long time.
Say quietly, oh so quietly, that lead's been building, and now it's beginning to explode. Wendell flashed on, gets knocked up on a 3 talent strike, and they pick up that feat of warfare. Need either the turret or a couple more objectives to convert into the full feats of strength, but here we go.
He's waiting for Niter. Oh, he's not waiting for Niter anymore.
Niter unbinds his soul, seals the fate as well. There'll be a permafrost angle to try and make this one work as Velia burns his own ult. Gooby now in a spot of danger himself. Still got a long cooldown to wait on his Q, but they can turn this one around and the needles come on over. Nemesis now here, looking for the shuffle. The Emperor's Divide onto Gooby must be an option, but instead he flashes away and Doxy now in danger. Gooby's got to run for the hills. They kill off Doxy. It's my own childhood, long since dead, but you know.
Could be. Could be. But it was a pretty awesome period of time. More typically Japanese media finding its way onto those.
That's very true.
Onto those channels. But that away, Los Ronas were able to secure their second dragon of this game, and it will be Mountain Soul again. Naya should be fine, but might find himself having to flash maybe.
Velia has got the ult available just about, but there's still a Q3, so the Mortal still gets that one all the while. The Nemesis brings down Wendell, shut down onto Velia, but a flash on forwards to get the Emperor's Divide despite the permafrost coming. Looked flashy, but doesn't get the kill, so Nemesis ends up burning an additional pair of cooldowns that he probably didn't need to do. All the while, though, do check up the top of your screen, as Los Ronas are up about 2,000 gold, and a lot of that is in places like this bot lane where the Zeri continues to be ahead. The farm leads in mid, in jungle, continue to be problematic. BAUS, though, being attacked again. The needles, though, just go largely wide, but a Glacial Prison will make sure that BAUS takes his injections. Does be forced to go to sleep. The anesthesia does its work, and Doxy gets another kill.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. BAUS had ult.
Ever since that early invade the bot side and the counter invade went so wrong, it's kind of left this bot lane a little bit to the wolves. Or perhaps, I suppose, to the cows, considering this Alistair has been an absolute menace. Trying to come and defend this, but Nemesis roams on over. Wendell goes looking for the Magnus Storm and hits absolutely no one. Where was that going? All the while, Kobe's stunned up, trying to run away, as Gooby is left out to the wolves, as we were talking about. Crowny gets that one. BAUS has got the turret top side as well, and Los Ronas win on 2 sides of the map at once.
Yeah, they're not going towards core items is a very, usually, foolish endeavor. So, most players kind of recognize, yeah, first 2 core items, change how my champion plays, get those boots afterwards.
Very, very significant. Sometimes you do things like steel caps, rushes, and all those kinds of things. The move speed can be valuable, but look at people like Ezreal. They really want that Muramana after the Trinity
Very
Force.
important, and BAUS done a pretty good job so far of that, though, as we praise him. Not really his fault.
That was a mistake.
Gooby just stuck into that bush around a whole bunch of LR vision, and it's a solid pick from Venomcrest. So, good job there. What will it get them? It's going to get a couple of hits on this tier 1 on the bottom side, and also a teleport out of Nemesis. Hang on. Try and secure this third dragon. This is a good angle for an engage!
The Ferromancy crash down, and the Magnus Storm forces Crowny to flash away. Sorry, cleanse away. Doesn't need to burn the flash quite yet. Kobe burns the barrier. Velia now split off from the team. Going to be potentially run down. Remember, Soul Point would have been on the line. That was what was spawning. That's why Venomcrest were looking for those picks. Velia doesn't have a wave to get to. Nemesis has rejoined with his jungler. Niter, though, got the Q3 available. Finds the knockup. Throws out the Spirit Cleave. Velia will pop his Crescent Guard and stay alive. Gooby now in a 1v2 of his own. The double knockup, but the jungler dies! Venomcrest, you had the man advantage and you're still losing it! There wasn't even a lightning crash on this area and she still finds the kills.
That's just frustrating to watch from Venomcrest. Just gotta make your mind up, lads. Pick a way to go. But they're kind of split. I think Wendell and Gooby, I'm not sure what it was, but they ended up kind of taking a very awkward path to chase down Velia in comparison to the rest of their companions on this journey. And, yeah, Reckless just a great double knockup. The turn is very easy to do for Los Ronas. So the third dragon will go over in what really was an incredibly advantageous position there. Squandered. Walk around here. Gooby, I don't know how much he can really do. Wendell's in the area, though.
Okay. The ult burned by Niter. BAUS is dead.
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
And that's flashing ult down as well. This Renekton suddenly is starting to have a tougher time in this matchup. For all he stayed even in gold, the Gwen has still been getting a fair amount of gold. 3 kills now. Riftmaker early, going towards the Nash's tooth.
These kind of extended lanes is, as the Renekton, you'd love to kind of just dash in, get the stun, maybe an extra whoa, and then a Q, and then dash out. That kind of circumstance, that's not the trade pattern going down. And Foxy is able to just get the slow...
Not a bad win. Wendell, though, is down at half, and that could be slightly problematic as your main engage tool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kobe just needs to position a little carefully. Oh, look at the flash!
It's gorgeous! Category 5 disaster for Nemesis, but Reckless with the 4-man pulverize. Please turn it around. Neitherwork flies. They have killed off the jungler, though. BAUS with the dominance running can look to potentially find a little bit more. The healing is enough to keep him healthy. They got the engage, but not enough. Crownie survives, and they've got to play this dragon fight with no smite available.
No smite available, but the 4v4 doesn't look too bad. There's teleport coming in from Myers on. He's got flash on the backside. Even if this dragon goes down and Soul's dead, I think they might lose the fight regardless.
Dragon goes down, smite secured, that's Soul. What about the fight after? It's a complete mess. BAUS into the backline, slices and dies. Niter gets knocked up, but he'll be pulling it all. Niter, I think, going to be put to sleep a little bit earlier. As LR go looking for a few more kills. They've got Soul, they've gotten the dragon. And they can potentially look for Baron after lashed out of the fate seal that sealed Nemesis' life in that last fight. Won't have it available right now as Wendell. Ferromancy crashes down, but you can bend iron. You can't bend the forces of life as the soldiers go sliding on forward to claim that life. They can look for a bit more as Velia and the rest of Los Ronas. The fate seal is fantastic. Pulse back to Niter, but they can't quite get the kills they're looking for. The health bar's a little bit low for Los Ronas as Niter spares some blushes there with a monstrous fate sealed.
Yeah, but the problem is the health bars are just high enough that they might feel confident, to start this Baron up. Gooby still in the area, no ultimates available for Venomcrest. They decide against it as Gooby's just face checked. The Q's a little short too. I think he's dead.
Koza looking on forward, Gooby in danger. Does not have the Arctic Assault. Maybe should have gone for Arctic Defense. As now he's in a lot of danger. BAUS slices and will look to cull the Meek with a bit of Ruthless Predator on top of it. Slide away from Doxy, going the other way with the skip and slash, but I think the only place he's going to be skipping is an early grave. You have to feel as Kobe gets jumped on, hit by the wind, becomes lightning, and that allows the audacious charge to bring down the intrepid explorer from Piltover.
Very, very good play from Venomcrest. I mean, rather from Los Ronas turning away from that Baron, getting the rundown. It's fantastic stuff as hello. Is Wendell in trouble?
It
Nemesis.
Never really ends, does it, in this series?
No. It's been very old.
Oh no!
Oh no, that's bad. That's very
That
bad.
might be an understatement, Jamada.
Yeah, that's Baron. That guy has been doing a lot of heavy lifting for you, Venomcrest, and unfortunately he's been caught out. Not quite sure how that unfolded. Don't know how it started, but the conclusion will be Barrett. Thank you. Wow, very sweet.
Production on it.
Yeah, he's looking for Velia. Can't forward for, but then
misses.
Actually,
yeah. He rebinds his soul, and it turns out the Lost Returns were waiting for him. With a locket and all.
Now that guy.
Is a 4v1 enough? The Alistair will break the will unbreakable rather as Nemesis goes golden. That's not great for the Azir. Now in danger. Goes forward with the wind, becomes lightning. There's Velia looking for a back angle in. Wendell still trying to do some work here on this Rel. They'll start to get a couple kills as Velia finally gets one. But Doxy is fighting low.
Crownie's here.
Onto Velia, but Crownie is here. And the lightning comes crashing on in. Renamed to Zeus. God of Thunder comes striking in the form of Azeri.
It's a strange set of decisions from Venomcrest. I mean, why the Alistar? I think Alistar found his way onto Kobe, but Nemesis is face-checking you. Let the Ezreal self-pill, lads. I think he's alright.
Does feel like the king of the skirmishes does the Shinzao, and Venomcrest are split off. Doxy is level 16 and is scary on the Gwen. Glacial Prison land onto Nemesis, who gets an Emperor's Divide but doesn't really hit anyone valuable right now. The lightning crash from Crownie, though, means that Gwen turned back into a doll, gets absolutely stuffed. As they went looking for the engage, can't find it, and Venomcrest, they're looking for smoke and mirrors. And Lost Returns, well, they see all too clearly. Wendell is going to get murdered, and Crownie is looking to make this a really certified Zeri moment. How many kills can he pick up in this fight? Won't be an official penta or anything, but certainly got a very nice looking scoreline. 11 kills deep. Lands the Ultra Shock Laser, a hop away from Kobe as Rex were looking for that headbutt pole. Velia will audaciously charge a knock-up, and a final stab of the spear. And Lost Returns will ace Venomcrest and look to bring us to match point here in the series.
Not as much volatility as game one. Certainly the same outcome. Los Ratones able to stave off a lot of the pressure that was put down around the map. Will bring us to series point after just 2 games.
Lex when champions dive into her, and seeing as like Venomcrest do have engaged, but don't necessarily have to commit all into all of this. Oh, love the cannon coming through from Doxy right here. A little bit counterintuitive with the Javan. He can either locks you in or out, but we'll see how Venomcrest is gonna choose to pilot that.
I'm a bit worried about that Nefiri in the sense of who or what is going to follow up with her, because she wants to be diving in, but also she wants to have some artillery sword, and I'm not seeing either enough range of Los Ratones to follow up with her safely, or I'm not seeing enough follow-up with her, which means that Nefiri shouldn't really be playing very aggressively in this game, but at the same time, if you're not playing Nefiri aggressively, why are you playing Nefiri in the first place?
So far, Venomcrest still trying to take down the armor of the Rats. The Rats are looking clean versus Venomcrest.
Single target lockdown, a lot of wombo combo. And you were kind of saying you're not sure there's going to be that many easy targets to lock down for said wombo for Venomcrest.
Yeah, I think what's good about this Venomcrest lineup, very quickly, agency to make engages happen there. The floor of execution on making those engages happen, very simple, right? Flag drag R, flash R from the Nautilus if you really need to get things going. It is super easy to make fights happen. A major concern is just kind of around the overall fact that we haven't seen Venomcrest be on the same page. So whilst this shotgun composition is, as I'll realistically dub it, is again the correct kind of decision and direction you'd love to see this draft going. Yeah.
16 feet through the announcer desk. WWE style.
Any other rocks?
You're my rock, Jamada.
Oh.
And you throw games occasionally and watch you on stream, so that also makes sense. As BAUS needs to be a little bit scared here. There's a flash available, and Doxy just gets the solo kill.
All right, yeah, sure. First blood over to Doxy, and Kennen is going to be a very crucial part of this game.
Crowley got to get an entire Gatling gun charge off on 2 people there. That is brutal. Scooby has gone for that potential desperation play.
Oh.
Doesn't need to flashes. Yes, Nemesis now in danger. Yet to use the E or the Q. The flag and drag available. Needs to try and get around here. Marshall Kane's over the wall. As Velya flashes with the W after to make it the 1-for-1. Desperation play goes a little awry there, but at least they do get the Oriana.
About those desperation plays.
You were talking about those. How does this one go, Jamada?
Well, see, the problem is, if Gooby flag drags, then Velya can press the W key. He's going to hold on to his
a big
Q.
one. Okay,
Right,
well...
he actually got the smite, Gooby.
That's a good one, but over comes Nemesis. That Oriana gonna have to flash
got ult,
Doxy.
actually.
Has got quite an option here. We'll start to make things really electrifying. And the W key is pressed instead it's the L key. Now Nemesis might be looking in a pretty dodgy spot himself. It's the Oriana who currently doesn't have flash. BAUS is in a bit of a scary spot. They just turn around and pick him up as well.
Okay.
Venomcrest pick up 2. Have just spawned. And Gooby just slides on into this side bush. Can look for the angle. There's the Cataclysm. Can look for a turnaround here, but just doesn't have the damage side. We shove that comes across onto another other. And Wendell's there as well. And Nemesis gets to walk back and forth a couple times, but that's about all the outplay he has available.
Yeah, just because Wendell's got the first move there, we don't see him very frequently in this meta, is still the lane bully that we know him to be. And
yeah.
He does not really have many
well.
tools into that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's what I'd call a legacy bit, really, from Doxy. From many, many years gone by, leagues like Matchco, or leagues like the Italian League on Matchco, and things of the like, where...
It did feel like they ran that league, so I get the misspeak. As Velya, though, the moment we speak well about a player, they end up in trouble. We'll need to put the lightning rush down, but he's been marked by the hot dog. Do you want to buy one? Throws down the slicing maelstrom, flash on forward. There's the handshake, and it is very firm indeed. A hostile takeover, and Reckless, unfortunately...
Cross map of the dragon. So we're not going to see an early, early soul in contention here for LR like we have seen for the past 2 games. Yeah, maybe it just makes things a little bit weird, a little bit awkward as, well, goodbye Kobe. Sent to the mountains of pulling LR around the map, gradually finding windows, and this is, the kind of stuff you can find.
Death charge onto the cataclysmed Oriana, who's got nothing there to do. It is the end of days, at least for Ori. The hostile takeover hits no one. They'll try and turn it around as Reckless now in danger. Can try and put a bailout in, but it's just not enough. As they do finally get a reset for Comet right here with Crowley, who puts down the Valkyrie. And it's enough. The fight getting very messy as BAUS is turned on up. Niter, though, throwing another rock. As Nita picks up one more, it's a 4 for 3. A bloodbath indeed. I
And a
apologize. No, it's not,
4v5.
because Doxy wasn't there.
Yeah,
was
it's a 4v5, and that's the big part about this play here. That's the head. Might not be able to really get this point off. I feel like positioning is a little too aggressive. Will oh, hello, Doxy. I mean, this is really great from BAUS. Trying to keep Doxy in a position where you can't TP. BAUS will be able to walk down now. Doxy should try and reset, get a TP off, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Split off, goes
Gooby.
looking, crowd
Wow.
flash around, Reckless in danger, they go looking for this one, the
Okay.
Dragon now left alone, Gooby in danger, but they go the route on Reckless, down for the count, into the backline goes the dog, but eviscerating nowhere, hasn't got the resets, tries to call the back, but no one answers, called an ambulance and it was Venomcrest that got it as a triple kill, over
All right,
to
Wendell. Yeah, you know what, mate? Sure, why not? Yeah, triple
Earned
kill
it.
to the Nautilus. Yeah, fantastic. Great job. You know what? He earned it for the Oh.
Hang on. Okay, Doxy, we were praising him, but has died the 1v1 topside. First turret
we
to
can
Los
catch
Ronas,
that.
but they lose the dragon, so there is that.
Yeah, they lose the dragon. I mean, this will be feats of strength too, right? It's the third objective
Yes.
here. For Venomcrest, so they're going to get those boots. That's going to feel nice. They can actually get those completions in. My oh my. I mean, so I'm sure, or I'm hoping we'll get a replay, because I don't think this team's going to run straight to Herald. Here's the
There
replay
it
of
is.
that 1v1. Now, being a bit greedy here, but I'd love one of the objective fight too. Just Doxy disrespecting the
You're
potential
making
for BAUS to
production
walk
work
around.
for it today.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can hear them
really running them around the
rolling
room.
their eyes right now.
Frontline engage coming out of the support. Very, very rarely is it the case that Reckless is on, you know, a Rel or an Alistar. It's really, you know, it's typically these kind of champions like Renata, Rakan, and a couple of the other enchanters that we see him pilot. And at times, it does feel like in a situation like this where you would love to be able to commit forward to punish what is in a very immobile backline. You don't get to do that as easily as, say, you know, Venomcrest get to with the Nautilus and with the Jarvan.
Activation on the ult for Velia, who's really had a tough time finding those right now, was full send onto Nemesis. You heard it from Adrian. Oh, wow, is the start. And afterwards is Venomcrest might have gone,
Oh, Doxy.
I fear, a little deep. Doxy looking for an angle. Bailout heals Nemesis, though. He gets to stay alive for a second. Call the pack still not going to be enough as Kobe gets that one. It's messy,
No way.
but Venomcrest still able to try and threaten this one out as Crowny looking for an angle. Turn around with a depth charge. Reckless, though, finds a bit of damage back. Kobe trying to trade this one out. It is absolute disaster for everybody involved. Ends up being a man advantage for Los Ratones, though, somehow.
But still, now they have to play with that information that he's there. They're going to walk forward into Gooby. Gooby's in trouble. He's got it!
He goes in, finds the Cataclysm, the seismic shock comes on down, they kill off that Jarvan. Still get the reset, BAUS in danger. The backside, Doxy gets a pretty mediocre slicing after all things said and done. And BAUS just won't die. Another hammer shot, another angle in. Where the hell is Kobe? Off to the side, trying to find something. Finds a dredge line, but I don't know whether Wendell actually wants that. Finds a depth charge after BAUS. Still absolutely unkillable. This Poppy is an absolute beast now.
Oh man, they just had to play time. They just had to let the pressure of Doxy being behind them really work for them. But now LR get everything they wanted off that exchange. They get the kills, they get the objective. And I praised Gooby for let Los Ratones try and make a play, right? That's been one of their weaker points. But don't let them get a free play. That's not the angle you need.
Yeah, went a bit too far the other way, guys. That's the pendulum swinging far too far away, and Wendell ends up dying kind of free as BAUS walks it in menacingly.
Yeah, I think just the feel for this game, starting to feel like Los Ratones might just end up 3-0ing them after all.
I was excited for a fourth.
Let's see. Yeah, that was I. Let's see. Can Gooby get a steal? He's got a
handshake.
Buff through. Oh, the wall stops that.
There's a shockwave after. Knight is now in danger. The
Oh no!
Takeover. It's absolutely glorious. Reckless finds them all. It's a triple towards Crowny, and the Atacon is secured as well. Los Ratones right back in the game. The early game, messy. Looked problematic to say the least, but they managed to hold their nerve, find some much better fights. And right now they look like they can do no wrong.
Yeah. These last 2 skirmishes, 3 skirmishes. Decision making again, it's just coming out on top. That's a very manageable situation. So BAUS is trying to make it as unmanageable as possible.
He's level 16, the highest in the game right now, and currently taking next to no damage. Looking to go into the backline now. Nemesis goes golden. The hostile takeover buys some time. Berserk goes Niter. Gooby caught in his own cataclysm, and it's the end of days, but for the wrong person, Velia will eviscerate Flash away. BAUS on the killing spree. BAUS bosses them all. He is the Messiah League. He certainly is in the NLC. Flashes on forwards. Los Ronas knocked down to the lower bracket. And I think it just made him very angry. They hulk out in this series.
You can pinch the guy's champion pool, but eventually he's going to make a weird play that's going to work. This isn't even one of the weird ones.
No.
It's just an aggressive moment out of him that Venomcrest can't handle. Now they're going to be able to pick up this Baron off the back of a full-blown ace. They only lose Velia. And even Velia maybe could have walked out of this one with his life in a couple of different scenarios. All needs going to be extended now. Fight, if anything, has been signaled for the last couple of skirmishes.
It's felt very Los Ronas favored. They are up a lot of gold now. I won't do the maths on there. You can do that yourselves, guys. Just know that it is significant. Dragon started Velia on a potential flank angle. He could be pretty deadly here as BAUS steps on forwards again. Wendell caught out. Doxy forced to back away, lost half his HP, but gets a decent depth charge on the other side though. Does Wendell buys a bit of down to 4k HP is the Dragon. Looking at trying to redemption, heals people up. Into the back, there goes Gooby. It's a big cataclysm, but the follow-up's not there. And the turnaround with the hostile takeover, with the Hound's pursuit, will drag them all straight down to hell. Cry havoc and let slip the jungle dogs of war.
Yeah, BAUS is going to TP onto this mid-wave, and they're going to shove with Baron. This should be game. 3-0 Los Ronas. Few ups, a few downs in this series, but otherwise, I think you're right. I think that series versus Nord only really served to piss them off a bit. They're going to walk down this mid lane and end this series and give us an early night.
The Danish representatives will be denied a trip home. Los Ronas' journey through the lower bracket begins, and they do it with style. You can't ban BAUS out, it turns out. He has a few too many available to him. And it's a 3-0 day. It's Los Ronas. You can't exterminate the rats.